Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Empowerment with Elizabeth. Today I am here with my sweet new friend Madison. She's going to chat with us about being a state title holder and her prep for Miss Volunteer America. So, Madison, tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Madi Coffman. I'm 24. I was a week and a half ago crowned Miss South Carolina Volunteer, so I'm super excited about that. In my day-to-day life, I am a third grade teacher. I'm in my third year teaching, so that's super exciting. So that keeps me pretty busy in addition to being a title holder. I've competed in pageants for about 5 years now. Um, and we can talk a little bit about that later, but I've had a long journey of no's, and I talk about that a lot, and I finally got my yes, so that's exciting. Um, Talent, I sing vocal and display by Dean Martin and a Caboose for my talent. And that's pretty much it. In my free time, I love to read, and I love to travel.
I love it.
So
I love it. You
that's
mentioned
super
that
fun.
you've been doing pageants for 5 years now. You've gotten a lot of no's. You finally got your yes. So, talk to us about how you got started in pageantry and how it got you to where you are now.
So I started in pageants when I was in seventh grade. My mom did pageants. And so I had always, grown up with the pictures of her and all of those things. And then my middle school was doing a pageant and I was like, this is my chance. Funnily enough, I started doing them because of my mom, but I started doing them with my dad. My dad and his partner have really kind of been my pageant parents, so to speak. And my dad's husband is a hairstylist, so he's always done my hair for all of my pageants and stuff. So that's kind of how I got started in them, and I caught the bug, as they say, and continued doing it from there.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned that your talent is, vocal. So talk to us about how you got started singing and then also about how you go about selecting a piece for state and then now nationals.
So I've sung my whole life. I grew up in church, and so I've just kind of always been in choir. I've always done Um, I did chorus, I did musical theater in school, all of those things. I've always loved singing. I also dance, but I've never been as talented a dancer as I have been as a singer. And so I kind of was just like, you know what? Singing is probably the route that I should take, especially because I'm not flexible. I don't have like bendy joints or anything like that. So when I was choosing my talent, kind of along the lines of getting lots of no's before I got a yes, I chose a lot of talent songs that were not the right choice for me. They just either challenged me too much vocally, or they were just really, really difficult songs and they just didn't fit who I am as a person. Um, and so when I found Way, myself and my whole team of people was kind of like, this is it. This is the one. It shows who you are as a person. You can have fun with it. When I perform, I don't just stand at a microphone and sing. I move around, I dance a little bit. I have a lot of fun with it. And so that's who I am as a person. I'm very happy go lucky. I'm very excitable. And so they were kind of like, is this is the one that you need to sing. And so in preparing for nationals, I want something else that shows off my personality and something that I can have a little bit of fun with. I want something that's going to challenge me as a vocalist, but I have a very unique voice as well that has a very limited range. And so there's a lot of songs that I would love to sing in a perfect world, but that aren't really feasible for me realistically. So that's kind of what's going into my process, but I have a lot of time to figure that out. So I'll keep you updated.
I love it. I love it. And on a similar vein, too, obviously talent is just one of the phases that you compete in. So talk to us about your personal favorite phase of competition and a little bit about why that phase is your favorite.
Oh gosh. I've always said evening gown is my favorite because I just think evening gown can just be, and you can just enjoy being on stage, walking in front of your friends and family and the people that care about you, walking in front of the judges, being elegant, being poised, being classic. And that's something that I just always treasure and I always value. I will say that recently interview has grown on me and I'm starting to like interview more, but it's only because I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like I'm good at it and that I can do it well. But those two for sure are my favorites. Um, Everything else is kind of just you do it because you have to, in my opinion.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, a big part of interview, like you were just talking about, is your CSI or your serve initiative. So, talk to us about what your serve initiative is, what you've been doing with it, and what your plans are for it.
So my serve initiative is the hashtag Love Thy Neighbor initiative, which started when my dad came out as gay when I was 10 years old. And it kind of, for me, opened a lot of realizations in my life about how people in the world are treated because of things that they can't control. So things like their race, their ethnicity, their socioeconomic background, their gender, their marital status, all of these things, who they choose to spend their lives with, things that people can't control and they just want to be. But we as people tend to make judgments about them or put people into a certain box because we see them a certain way. And so the Love Thy Neighbor initiative is about growing our understanding of what makes us human and finding commonalities in places that we may not have found commonalities before and saying, you know, we are more similar than we ever thought. Let's use this to help understand each other better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've talked a lot about already, you've been getting no's, you finally got your yes. So, talk to us a little bit about why you think the judges selected you specifically to represent the state.
Something that, I've mentioned on here, but I haven't really delved into when I started competing in another system. I competed 5 times before I was preliminary title. Uh, and I got first runner up a lot of times. That was 5 years ago. My second year competing in that system, I competed 5 times before I won a preliminary title. And all 4 of those times I got first runner up. That year I got top 10 at state, which was amazing. My third year, I didn't place at state at all. My fourth year in that system, I made the top 10 again, was super excited. I got a lot of scholarship money. And my fifth year, I won overall interview, but only made the top 10. And so that was constantly getting, no, it's not this time for you. 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 And something that I think the judges saw in me when I interviewed for Miss South Carolina Volunteer is that I have drive, I have determination, I'm determined to succeed. I've showed perseverance, which is a lot of what being in pageantry is about, is continuing to come back, not giving up that first time, but showing up authentically, showing up 100% yourself, and knowing exactly what you want to do with the title. I think so many girls enter in pageants kind of being like, oh, this would be so fun to win, but not really having a vision for what they want to do. And I think at this point, I've learned that you have to know exactly what you will do as the title holder, and have a plan and have those systems in place so that you can be successful when you do win. And those two things together, I think, are what the judges saw in me. And that's something that I'm really excited to bring into this role, is the experiences and the um, life life skills that I've earned from both of those things.
Yeah. And your next pageant now is Miss Volunteer America, which is crazy. I'm sure you're so excited. So, talk to us about the prep that you've been doing and what specifically you've been focusing on with your preparation for nationals.
So thankfully, I have 10 months now before Miss South Carolina or Miss Volunteer America. So I have a lot of time. The biggest thing for me is I care so deeply about this work and the work that comes with being a title holder. For me, preparing for the national competition, of course, the dress that you wear is important. Of course, the talent you do is important. Of course, preparing for the fitness competition is important. But for me, this is a position of service. We are the Volunteer America organization. We are here to volunteer and serve our communities. And so the biggest thing that I want to do as a title holder is pour myself into my community and show up and be at these appearances as much as I can while working a full-time job, but really pouring into these appearances in these organizations I only get to do this for 365 days. So regardless of the outcome, I'm showing up authentically and wholesomely myself by showing up ready to serve and ready to be a servant leader. So that's kind of the thing that I'm focusing on um, in preparing for the national pageant, because I think if I have all of those things in place, I'm already showing up, showing that I'm ready to be that national title holder.
Yeah. And you mentioned appearances. So I know you like literally just got crowned. So this can be kind of a I'm looking forward to answer. But I want to know what your favorite appearance has been so far as Miss South Carolina volunteer.
Oh gosh, we really, I've only had two real appearances since being crowned a week and a half ago. We got to do a photo shoot the day after we won with one of our sponsors, which was amazing. So I really enjoyed that, especially because our makeup sponsor and our photography sponsor um, for this photo shoot was someone I worked with for a very long time. Shout out to Holt Avery. So that was really exciting because Holt has been a part of my journey over the past several years. And so him witnessing me winning and finally achieving this dream of mine was really awesome. I'm really excited about several that I have coming up. In October and November, there's several pageants that I'm going to, so I'm excited to build relationships through that. I'm going to be visiting a lot of sponsors in the next few weeks, which is another thing that I'm super passionate about, is building those relationships with sponsors and thanking them and appreciating them. So those are some things that I've got coming up in the next few weeks. And I just released my booking link today, and I already have someone that's looking to book me in November. So I have all these things coming up and trying to fill up my calendar as much as possible. So, in addition to volunteering with the Salvation Army, which is one of our national partnerships as well.
I love that. I love that. And it sounds like you are going to be all over your state within the next couple of weeks and months, and especially throughout your year as Miss South Carolina volunteer. So I want to know what your favorite thing about South Carolina is.
My favorite thing about South Carolina is good old Southern hospitality. I think that one of the biggest culture shocks for my family that lives up north when they come down here is how friendly everyone is and how open everyone is, how we hold doors for you, or how we're just like, yeah, come on in. Like, I think that's one of my favorite things about the state is just that everyone is welcoming, everyone just is polite and kind and uses manners, and that's something that I just love about this state.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our final question, if you could give one piece of advice to a girl competing at Miss South Carolina volunteer next year, what would it be?
Kind of going back to what I said earlier, really pour yourself into the work. Um, I think I myself was a system hopper, as they call it, to a certain extent, but there is something to be said for pouring yourself into and fully committing to whatever it is you're doing and really showing that you care, showing that you will show up as the state title holder, and really pouring yourself into the people and the relationships that make you who you are and make the title what it is. Those are the things that set you apart. Those are the things that really show people that you mean business and that you're here not just for a crown, but that you understand the implications of what the crown comes with. So when you do those things, that is what people remember. And even if you don't walk away with the crown, those are the things that will springboard you into other opportunities and springboard you into other possibilities outside of just being a state title holder.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Madison, for coming on and chatting with us about you and your title. And just know that we'll be rooting you on at nationals this year.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. This was a pleasure, and I so appreciate you asking me on.
Of course, of course. And I'll see the rest of you guys on our next episode. Bye, y'all.